And welcome to the newest indoor adventure in the Four Keeps, the Abyss, Part 6. Today is December 19th, 2022, and you are loved. And that is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. Oh god, if this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions for myself, or any of these other fine folks, feel free to join us again at patreon.com/indooradventures, and we will do our best to respond to those in kind. Easiest way to ask us those questions, I mean, the Twitch chat is right there. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. I think I am. Muscle memory says yes. Otherwise, if you join us on our Discord, the link can also be found in that Twitch chat to the side or in the description of this video or audio cast down below. But let's say that you already support us on Twitch. You already support us on YouTube and Patreon, and I want to say Twitter, but honestly, like, who really knows at this point how long that ship will last? But if you're looking to help support the show even more, you can go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That's indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. We got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, blankets, throw pillows. But most importantly, we also have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf1201, where all of the proceeds of all of our merch currently is going to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indooradventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey, RJ, who you playing today?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. Today I'm playing Caelum, the Shatterkai Wizard Fighter. We both go by he, him.
Hi everybody, I'm LBHackEmUp. I'm playing Gwen, the Halfling Fighter Barbarian.
Wait, I'm Cyber. I go by he or whatever. I play Arjhan, the Draconian Tech Bro. He, him.
Hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener, she, her. I'm going to be playing as Coriander, the Elegant Paladin, she, they, and he.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, last we left off, our group, very easily, without much fuss, was able to actually get to the Drow megacity of Tev'Elyan in the hopes that you could find the individual who is in the current possession of the Wand of Orcus. Upon your arrival, you found out that there was actually a music festival being held in Tev'Elyan, and Oliviette, who had joined you in this journey, in this trip to the Underdark, has suggested, or rather heavily implied, as well as obtained a few tickets herself, that you all should do your best to garnish these tickets, so that way you could end up going to this Drow music festival in the attempt that you could end up meeting Charliza, again, the individual currently in possession of this Wand of Orcus. Charliza Manstrayan is the current house, or she's the current matron of her house. She's the highest pinnacle, and rather than a lot of the other Drow that you have experienced and that you have come into contact with, the thing that makes her so notable is that, from your understanding, she is a half-drow. She is not a full-blooded matron. However, she seems to have still found herself in a position of power. And speaking of things with power, Caelum is currently in the possession of a rather storied book known as the Demonomicon of Igwilv, where you found that this book, while not cursed, does possess some detrimental properties, such as you might be possessed, or your friends don't gain the benefit of a long rest if they're within 300 feet of you. So things to really consider when you are planning to have a little bit of time, have a little aside here when trying to sleep in Tev'Elyan. Other things of note that occurred last session: Grayskull was noticed by a man that you were unsure should be noticing him. Specifically, a rather ragged-looking human with a large hair that was shock white, and they seemed to be in a constant state of, oh my god, what is happening? What is going on? To which Grayskull appeared. Cori, remembering that you have this armor of etherealness, was able to then join Grayskull and be like, hey, watch your shit, to this scared man who ended up leaving. And there was a very tender moment where Cori and Grayskull had a nice hug, because as it turns out, as a spirit, you don't get hugs that often. It was at that point that you all decided to wind down for the evening to try and get a good rest in before going to, well, the festival on its second day, starting tomorrow, being when you will all wake up. Now, again, there are these detrimental properties for the Demonomicon of Igwil. So, Caelum, with that in mind, what is your current goal for trying to circumvent this detriment?
I unattune.
That's very fair and totally reasonable. You never know.
I'm not gonna do some weird shit when the easiest solution's right there.
Okay. Yeah. So you end up spending an additional hour to unattune from this item because bad, yucky, don't like this at all. So what is the plan for the rest of you? Oliviette had suggested possibly taking watches. There is still the option of Caelum's Curious Cabin that you have access to inside of the single bedroom in the Queen's Cup, the sort of middle-of-the-road tavern that you have found inside of Tev'Elyan.
I would also like to point out that Cori and Arjhan aren't there because they've gone to hell.
Right. Yes. Arjhan ended up speaking with Tiamat and retrieving a jar of Tiamat's heart blood, which you are hoping to submerge the Wand of Orcus in, to then destroy the Wand of Orcus. And Cori, you have just been informed that you have a budding family member, as it turns out, that your father may have spent a little bit of, burnt some midnight oil with one Cat Stonemantle.
Pardon me, can you elaborate on that?
Well, when two engineers realize that they share ideas, they will often spend time communicating. Often, when a good idea strikes them, they are not bound by the laws of the regulated workday and will seek to engage in each
Okay,
other.
I didn't need that much information. I was more just asking, this is a traditionally begat child, yes?
It did result from coitus, yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
They built the baby.
Well, I suppose congratulations are in order.
Would you
Thank
like
you
for me
for
to deliver
informing
them
me.
for you?
Yes, give me a moment. She's going to write a quick letter of like, oh my gosh, congrats. Hugs, kisses, all my love.
Okay. And we'll say that right as you're finishing up with that letter, Arjhan, business with Tiamat being concluded, unless there was anything else that you wanted to get out while you were still there, you would arrive on the scene as Cori is finishing up this letter to hand to Newell, for Newell to then take to Stonemantle R&D.
Are we all good here?
Yes, I believe so. Are we all good here?
I believe so.
Ah, excellent. You know, Tiamat really has the right idea of it.
How do you mean?
Splitting herself into 5 different entities, being basically as many places as she wants. Did you know that my father's having a child?
Wait, what?
Exactly. And if I could be here, I would know that. And who knows what's going on back in the Underdark?
Aren't you actively split in 2 people right now?
That's a different person. She's more my sister than she is me.
I think she sees it the same way. Shut team out. Anyway.
Really?
I'm just gonna try and shove my jar of dirt into the bag of holding.
Ooh, what you got there? Bag of dirt?
Blood, actually.
Oh.
Not blood.
Excellent. That's what we came here for. It all went fine then?
Yeah, more than fine.
Oh, good. Anything else we need to do here before we leave?
Nope.
Okay.
Arjhan is just like making sure to not look at whatever halls in the Citadel lead to Tarleon's chamber. Nope, absolutely nothing.
I think Cori just fully looks down that hall, and then just sort of nods and says, well, let's be on our way then.
And Newell will nod, and you see them. It is a mix. Typically, whenever Newell has helped transport a lot of you, there's summoning circle involved. There's a lot of this kind of momentum that keeps through it. At this point, it looks like Newell is just strictly like pulling shadows off of the ground to form this temporary gate for you to pass through. I have been gifted certain abilities by the Queen Mother.
Thank you, Joel.
To your home. And Newell nods as the two of you pass on through, and Newell, you see, like, walks into the shadows behind you, but, like, is looking at the letter like, right, I have to deliver this still, and they, like, at the last moment just sort of diverge off. But yeah, inside of the Queen's Cup in Tev'Elyan, from a shadow inside of the room, you see Cori and Arjhan both step out.
Nothing weird happened whenever we were gone, did it?
Caelum's just like sitting on a chair reading while I guess Olivia and Gwen are resting. He would have offered to take first watch.
Yeah. Olivia's just meditating.
Cori comes out and says, I'm going to have a sibling, and then just kisses Olivia full on the lips.
And you can see that, like, this wakes her. Wake is a heavy phrase because, again, meditation, but she just, congratulations, I guess. Congratulations are in order.
Is Laurel like budding?
Oh, no, Laurel is my sibling. I think.
Okay, so congratulations.
On your mother's side, father's side, your side, you seem to generate a lot of your own siblings.
It is rather interesting that so many of them have appeared.
It's like osmosis.
A bit, yes. But no, my father, he's having a child.
Oh, What trimester is he in?
What's the name of Yugalon's partner in this endeavor?
That would be Catastrophe Stonemantle, better known as Cat.
God, fuck. Okay. Oh, no. That would be Catastrophe, I believe her name is. She's a stone mantle, right?
Oh,
What about
Cat.
the stone mantles?
Cori's dad knocked up a stone mantle.
All right.
On
Weird
purpose?
way of saying it, but
I'd say the
And
people
also-
who built the mechanical.
The mechanical dragon lord, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Your dad works fast.
and also rude. It doesn't matter whether or not it was on purpose or not. My father's going to be elated.
Does he know?
Gods, I hope so. Otherwise, the letter I sent him is going to be rather a shock.
Damn.
Wait, so let me get this straight. Your father is working for Stonemantle R&D
Mm-hmm.
In hell.
in hell. Where is that? It's location.
Technically, he's working for me.
Technically working for Arjhan, being contracted through Stonemantle R&D. This Catastrophe, as you called her.
Mm-hmm.
Also working through Stonemantle R&D.
I think she's their chief mechanic, no?
So is there like a workplace violation that happens there? Is that a thing that you need to be
Oh.
worried about, or is it just like, it's fine?
Oh, I don't know.
Or is it
See,
because
my-
he's being contracted and she's part of the parent? You know what? It doesn't matter at this
As
Well,
long
my-
as long as they don't report to the same person, it's fair game.
Makes things easy. I don't know. I
Or
just
as long
got
as
really
one doesn't
invested in
report to
these.
the other.
Uh-huh.
So,
Boy. Weird, but cool. Awesome.
again, congratulations. Next time I see your father, I tell him congrats. This is something that he's looking forward to. Or I'll give
If
him
he knows
condolences.
about it.
I assume that he probably knows about it, again, if they are working in such close capacity.
Well, look,
mean,
where
if-
I come from, it's hard to know whose is who, okay? So, different strokes for different folks.
Are you talking about the Goliath community or the Halfling community?
I said what I said.
Oh, well, where I come from, infants are as rare as unicorns. And so there's usually a
Caelum
pretty
raised
large
hand.
paper trail leading to their conception.
Well, seeing as I usually summon unicorns, does that make them all not that rare? Thank you, GM Workshop, for the raid.
Thank you! Thank you,
Hi.
Raiders!
Caleb, I doubt that you would have.
I am a statistical anomaly, I understand.
I doubt that you would have any difficulty summoning an infant.
Weren't you like the only infant that the Shatakai had had for like thousands of years or something?
I said what I said.
Okay.
Caelum, you're a unicorn.
But like a goth one.
Those are nightmares.
Oh.
Like a pentacorn.
No,
I don't
no,
think
it's
you're a nightmare.
significantly worse.
I think you're a joy.
I feel.
Sorry, what were we? Was there something? How did you find this out?
Neil told us whenever we went to hell.
When did we go to hell?
Oh, they went to
I
hell.
just went to hell
Like-
because I needed blood in order to destroy this thing.
We had
that
an
we're
entire
here to get.
conversation about this, Gwen.
Yeah, they asked
I've
you.
been
if-
asleep for like 2 hours.
Yes,
I
that's just how
told
long
you
they've been
whenever
gone.
we left.
Yeah.
And sometimes 2
Yeah.
hours feels a bit like 2
2
weeks to a
weeks?
month? Something like that?
You were
Y'all need to
actually
stop elving
involved
up
in this.
Arjhan, I'm upset. You don't elf off. All right?
I
You
did.
were involved in the conversation.
I can't be held accountable for what happened months ago.
It was 2 hours.
Sometimes
Look,
I wonder.
in-game time and real game. I took notes. Hold on.
Sometimes I wonder how we've
I
gotten
got
this
the-
far.
I got the thing that we needed to in order to destroy
Okay,
this
hell
artifact
yeah.
that we
Let's
are
go
here
find
for.
Orcus.
But we need his wand, which we have to wait until this festival goes on in order to steal
okay.
the wand from the person
Right.
who has it.
We're going to a festival to find a wand so that we can destroy it. And
Yes.
that's as far as my plans are.
I wish to go to the festival.
The
That's
festival?
what I got.
The
A
festival.
festival.
The King's Festival?
Yeah. I don't know. Is there a king? Was there a king to hold? I don't know what's happening.
The
I haven't
Matriarch's
updated my
Festival?
list in forever. I don't know what's going
The
on.
last
man.
king that we passed would have been in
Thank
Tev'Elyan.
you, not to a magma.
So, what we need to do is get some rest. We have a big day ahead of us tomorrow. Possibly some recon. Does this sound like something that we should do?
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, by the by, too. So this book, holding up the Demonomicon, has a lot of forewarnings in the front. One of them being no one can get restful sleep around me for about 300 feet.
That would explain why my meditation felt funky.
I put a seal on it, so we should be okay for the next 4 hours. But yeah. Also, when I'm attuned to this, I'm prone to getting taken over by the things in the book.
Caelum, this is why we read warnings first.
Well,
The book doesn't open unless you're attuned to it, Cori.
we did read
The
the
warnings are on the inside of the book?
and we got specific instructions from 2 very powerful mages who gave us this book in the first place, who were supposed to be helping us with this.
Still, some people don't process auditory instructions very well. Honestly, the warning should be written on the outside. I'm just saying, it's an accessibility issue.
Yes, Gwen.
Is this a mind taking over thing or like a body taking over thing? I'm pretty strong.
Well,
I mean, if we need somebody to read the book, I'm pretty strong in a few things.
double checks who can attune to this.
Anyway.
I can
It's-
cast
I think it's
spells.
Anybody.
Anyone. It's anyone. Yeah, that's an option.
What kind of check is it?
Yeah.
Charisma save.
No.
I could make it if I was next to Cori.
My charisma save is an 18.
Damn. Daniel?
What's the worst that could happen if we let Cori, who carries the mantle of Coralon, attempt to use the Demonomicon and temporarily gets taken over? What could happen?
Gets temporarily taken over by such demons as Trillius the Unkillable,
Yep.
Zakir, Lord of Sin,
Mhm.
Ashes of 1,000 Kindred, and Kyle.
I mean,
You know it would be Kyle.
it would be Kyle.
Bro!
All right, let's do an episode where we all get taken over by one of these entities, and I'll be Kyle.
Oh my god, RJ, it's that Freaky Friday episode that I messaged
You were
about
talking
at like 2 a.m.
Before we use this, I can I can abjure you from getting taken over for a little
Oh,
bit.
Good. That sounds swell. Fantastic.
But as long as I concentrate on it.
What is it that you're using for that?
Protection from evil and good.
Oh, well, damn, I could do that too.
Well, good.
Well,
Maybe one of us will remember to have it.
So I'm not going to undo the seal on this until we need it.
All right. Well, let's make sure we don't lose it.
Oh, no worries. Boop. into the portable hole, folds it up, puts it inside of his like breast pocket.
Long
Excellent.
rest.
Yes, we're going to need a long rest before a music festival.
I should make some lemon slices.
Okay, so sleeping in the room, curious cabin.
Yeah, we can sleep in the room.
Yeah, Oliviette is ready to take watches again. She obviously is going to try and meditate next to Cori.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah, it's sleepy time. Anything? Does anybody have anything they want to do overnight before the next day?
No.
I'm terrified of that.
Yeah, should I be concerned?
I saw an item in my item list. I was like, no, don't put that on. It's a band of loyalty that I took off one of the pirates.
One of the storm crows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, your night goes by smoothly. No one is like barging into your door or creeping up through the window. No ravens are swarming to take the culmination of memories. Your night actually goes by, albeit uneventfully. The only thing I would make a point of is that the music that echoes through this cavern does not stop until the wee hours of the morning. It is a loud din, and it just doesn't seem like even, and you can hear that there are people like groaning and getting irritable. It seems like this festival that is being put on is making the general populace of Tev'Elyan just like not necessarily a chip in their shoulder, but they are just getting that general like, nobody fucking touch me, nobody get near me. Like there is like a level of irritation that has seeded into this city because of this festival. With that being said, when you wake up the following morning, who would be the first up? I assume the elves, because meditation, 4 hours, all of that jazz. So with that, you wake up, or at least are awoken to, by the sound of a light rapping on the outside of your door. And if anyone goes to investigate and open up, you don't see anyone. And you sort of look back and forth and you just hear and you look down, and there is what appears to be a rat standing on its hind legs. And as it sees you and makes eye contact with you, you see that, like, brings up the back of its little rat paw, wipes it across its forehead, and then you see the head go slack, and there are what appear to be 6 little blades that stick out of the back and then pull outward as you see what looks to be a small little creature actually appear out of the skin of this rat. And looking at the rat, there's like a line of this strange material that looks like thousands upon thousands of small individual hooks on one end and then a like light fuzz on the other. As this creature that a lot of you would recognize as a quasit pops out of this rat's skin with a small letter that it then hands up to Caelum, as you are the one who entered the door.
Caelum holds up a finger, walks into the room, gets a gold piece from his bag, walks over to the quasit and gives it to the quasit.
And the quasit looks at it and looks at you, looks at it again. Its jaw unhinges like a snake, and you just see it and shove the entire gold coin into its mouth. And it sounds like as it swallows it, you would think that it would be like this very uncomfortable shifting sound, but instead it almost sounds like you are dropping a coin down a well. There's just this, and you see it just like rub its little tummy, and then it puts one foot into the little rat skin, another foot in, and then just like puts the Velcro suit back on, kind of wriggles a little bit, gives you a salute, and then runs.
Oddly horrifying and cute at the same time.
And Caelum, as you look at this letter, it has a wax seal upon it, and the wax seal you can see has been pressed with a spider in the shape of a bottle. Same seal that you would have recognized on the bracelet of the man with the shockhead hair.
Cori? Holds up the letter.
What is it?
Well, a Quasit delivered it to us, pulling out a dagger from the back of his belt pouch. Apparently, and just slides it under the wax. They didn't say anything. And he'll begin to read it.
Okay. And the letter that you read is as follows. It's been too long, sister, with a capital S. To the dragon,
Caelum stops reading. Folds it back up. Oliviette?
And she'll like look confused and
hands it over.
take the letter. And she will read it over and kind of like tilt her head a little bit. And she says, "You have just received an invitation for breakfast?
With whom?"
An old friend of mine. They go by the name of Percival."
Intriguing. Is this a cordial meeting?
Well, they did ask me if I still like my eggs on stoneback, so I assume that it is going to be a cordial meeting. I have not seen Percival since before I left, but it looks like, based on the stationery, they've made it pretty far in the whole Drow house game.
Interesting. And this is a true friend, not a friend of
Percival is a...
necessity?
Percival is one of those individuals that everything that they have done has been for necessity in terms of getting to where they are now. House Kezevet was not involved in the downfall of my house, and Percival and I used to be hunting partners.
Do you think that they would be a useful ally?
That really depends. I have not spoken to them since I went topside.
Let's put it this way. Do you think that responding to this invitation is a good idea?
I think it is a good idea, if not to see if they are willing to assist us. I think it would be a good idea as to not spit on their hospitality. If someone invites you to breakfast, if an old friend invites you to breakfast while you are in town, it would be rude to not at least say hi.
Well, we do need breakfast either way.
And she nods and is going to take some time, like review the letter, It looks like she is actually in the process of casting some sort of spell on it in order to find out the origin of it, where like basically no directions were given other than like, hey, come to the house. So she's kind of refamiliarizing herself with the layout of this. In the meantime, is there anything that y'all wanted to do as breakfast is getting figured out and Olivia is figuring out whence to go?
Caelum lays down the portable hole on the floor, reaches inside and starts pulling out like a dress shirt, a blazer, some pants, a tie.
Well, I mean, you can't go out like that. You can't look like yourself.
Well, there are people here with true sight, so...
The other thing that you will notice is that because this is a festival, this is a music festival that is being held, there are crowds from all over the place that have decided to come to view and enjoy this event. It might not be the best if it wasn't for the music festival to be anything other than you are. And at the same time, it is still a very tenuous opportunity. But with individuals who have seen through your ruse, that is entirely on all of your discretion as to whether or not you wish to be disguised or simply go as yourself.
Pulls out the owl mask with non-detection on it, puts it on the bed.
Okay. And then...
Does everybody still want white hair and gray skin?
Yes, please. Can I get a beard this time?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Seeming will go up whenever we are ready to leave.
Okay. With that also, Cori, we have you at your summer form. Do you still want to be in summer? Want to go back to fall or spring?
Good question. Summer is just so useful with its extra language, but the chances that anybody knows it down here is slimmer. Let's take spring
Okay.
in case we need an emergency face step.
Sounds good. All right. So, with that, Olivia is ready to head out whenever y'all are. Okay. So you manage to make your way out of the Queen's Cup. And as you're going, you actually start seeing more and more of these flyers that are for the music festival. It seems like more of these have been put up overnight. And now, even though you aren't necessarily looking for them, it is impossible not to see the events that are going to be playing out. Again, you are on day 2 of this music festival. So a lot of these bands have already played. However, you do see that there are at least a few still on the venue. And you can see that the name of this music festival is Necropalooza 1. A reverie of re-life and revelry. So that seems fun. You will also note that there are, I believe, let me just check here. There are still, I believe, 7 bands that are slated for today's playing, and they are going to be opening up with a band called Pub Crawler. Crawler, and it is stylized with no A in Crawler and no E. It's just Pub, CRWLR, all caps. But that is besides the point. You can kind of hear the music. Like they're doing sound check in the morning. They haven't started the festival proper yet, at least for today. and you make your way following Oliviette through the streets of Tev'Elyan. And it is a very, as you continue to follow her, one of the things that you will note is that in the background of the music, as you get further and further away from it, there is another sound that begins to fill your ears as you continue to follow her. And it is the sound of, it's like a bubbling, almost, a bubbling groan. And as you pass through one of these smaller crevices, these that are high on both ends, eventually what you see is that there is a large house that is built next to what appears to be a shoreline. However, the thing about this shoreline that makes it very unique and has given way to this bubbling, groaning sound is that the water, from what you can see, or at least the liquid that is inside or that is next to the shoreline, is silver. And it seems to extend as far as your eyes can see. And Oliviette takes a deep breath in and says, "It is always a sight for sore eyes whenever you see the heavy sea."
What exactly is it comprised of?
Have you ever heard of quicksilver?
Caelum's eyes go, oh.
Liquid metal?
No swimming. No lifeguards on duty.
No swimming. And as you all get closer, you can see that this house, this large manse that is built, there are docks that are nearby, and you see that there are ships that have been built that currently rest, and they are buoyed in the actual, what looks like this sea of liquid metal. But the thing that you notice specifically is that the bottoms of these ships have all been lined with stone rather than wood. And knowing what you know of the Deep Seldari, you know that they do have a fairly good understanding of levitation magic, and you're guessing that there's some sort of weight game being played here inside of these ships. And as you near this large building, you can see that there are guards that are stationed outside. As Oliviette comes by, or as Oliviette leads you all, she shows the letter, states that the head of the house is expecting them, and given description, the guards will let you through as well. And as you pass through, you start to see very clearly that this is almost more of a museum than it is a house. It is almost more of a lab than it is a house. It seems like, as far as the grand houses go of Tev'Elyan, House Kezevet has been around since the beginning, and they have taken no small measure to elaborate upon that, to build upon that in their own way. It seems that, and from what you are able to gather, before there was a city, there were the houses. The city built up around these houses, and Kezevet has been here since that time, since this was even pre-place. You are led then into what looks like a large sitting room, where there is a table that has been brought out with a variety of breakfast foods, many of which are not... there are a few things that you recognize, like an egg. Lots of things make eggs. That makes sense. Shanks of meat. You don't know what that meat is. You're going to guess not cow, not auroch, not boar. It is probably something from deep within. And there are also like strange vegetables, a lot of mushrooms. It seems that this has been built in a way and structured in a way that even though it is a feast, this is a feast very much unlike anything you have ever seen before. With that being said, at the end of this table, you see a a rather androgynous looking individual, long white hair in more of like an A-frame style haircut, very slender, a very slender gait, that upon your arrival stands, and in Elvish just, "Sister, it's so good to see you." And they embrace Oliviette, and Oliviette will embrace them as well, and brief pat on the back, and just says, "Percival, I never thought that I would come back to this God's forsaken place, but here I am." And Percival states, "The current brings everyone back, including you." Now, and then switches to common. "Now, let's stop being rude. Who are your friends? I heard tales that you were traveling with a small party." No need to be shy.
Hello.
I am Percival Kezevet. It is nice to meet all of you. I hope that it is nice as well. I assume that if anyone is traveling with my dear sister, that you treat her right. Yeah.
Yes.
And she even states at part of as during their introduction, he refers to her as Lalfena, as that is the last name that he knew her as, and she states it is Oliviette now. He's understanding that, or they're understanding that it does not matter. And Percival then says, "Sorry, what was your name?"
Looks to Oliviette.
Oliviette nods. It's fine.
You can call me Gwen.
Gwen is a very handsome name, yes.
Thank you.
Caelum.
Gwen, Caelum,
Arjhan.
Arjhan.
Well met. I'm Cori.
It's good to meet you, Cori. Now, I'm sure you're all starving, absolutely famished. The racket last night, can you believe that? Music just going well into the night. Stay up too late, get a little cranky. Help yourself, help yourself. We have a lot of catching up to do, so. And Oliviette nods, and over the course of this breakfast, you discover that Percival is the head of the house for House Kezevet. Typically, that role is reserved for female drow. However, as it turns out, there was a little bit of room to fudge the rules, as Percival simply stated, "I am not a man." And it seemed like the rest of the drow houses were totally fine with that. So as far as androgyny goes, Percival has stated, "I am not this thing. I can be house leader," and nobody had a real means to tell them no, especially given the fact that the finest poisons that Tev'Elyan has ever produced have been produced under Percival's watch.
During the entirety of breakfast, Caelum's picking at his food, but also with the enchanted quill he got from Cori on like some napkins, is writing something down.
So I hear you work with poisons.
Yes. Poisons are a little bit of a specialty. It's lots of uses, honestly. It's one of the things that has allowed this house to function the way that it has. We have worked out with the greater Seldari. Well, greater deep Seldari, if you want to call them as such. Our house pays our dues, our taxes, through poison.
Oh.
We create a variety of poisons. We give them to the powers that be. No hair off of our back. No skin off our teeth. Is that how you say it in common?
Yeah.
Shrugs.
Yes.
hundreds of years on this earth and still can't grasp common idiom. Now, poisons, as it turns out, are actually also good at healing. A poison does not necessarily have to kill. It does not have to injure. You can create a engineered kind of poison to be able to target things specifically. If you are familiar, what is it? We would call them a vaccine. Where you take a little bit of the poison and then build things around it. An antitoxin, you start with the toxin itself, then work your way backwards. We've sort of cornered the market on both poisoning people and healing people, so it kind of levels out, you know?
That's fucking sweet.
Any medicine can be poisonous if you apply the right dosage. It's all control, isn't it?
Yes, but control... that is, as soon as it leaves the doors to the lab, not exactly my problem. Until it becomes my problem. But things have been going good for Kezevet. It's been nice.
Good.
Yes,
good for you guys.
Well, you would say good, but things have been a little, not for my house specifically, but for houses in general. Things have been a little, wonky. Since Oliviette decided to... Ever since Oliviette's former house fell, to say the least. So, let me just kind of explain the scenario, as it were. Are you familiar with the rise and fall and stasis of drow houses and how they work?
A little.
Yes.
Okay, so
a little.
When Oliviette left, her house, her former house, went into a period of decline. Now, during that period of decline, there's an 8-year frame in which that house has every means and ability to try and regain their footing, to gain allies or look for individuals who are willing to absorb them into their house and become a lesser house, one of those more forgotten ones. In this situation, there was, during this time, you can actually, lesser houses, once you have passed this 8-year period, are able to vie to become one of the greater houses. Now, typically, the way that you do that is that you promise something that your house is doing that is different than what the other great houses are doing. For example, there can't be 2 great houses that specialize in poisons. You know, that wouldn't make any sense. Like, which one of these poisoners is the best of the 2 great? It's a lot to go off of, so we just knit on that one. So, when that happens, there is either a large bolstering of the great houses that is put to a vote, and if none of the individuals who have put it to a vote can decide, then we enter into a tournament. Now, this tournament is House Representative, shows that they are capable of holding a large sum of money, that they have gained funds in order to uphold their house, to be able to pay all the taxes and everything to become part of the greater circle. You then fight your way, killing as you do, until you reach to the very top. If you are the champion and you have the funds, you can become part of the house as long as you've promised and can show that you can provide. Again, something that is new, something different. And that is where we have found ourselves today. This Houseman Strahan, if you are familiar, I assume you came through the city, you know of the music festival that is being put on by, I believe it was Silvered Symphony Productions, presents Necropol Yada Yada, whatever it was called. There are a few bands on there that I would like to have seen, but this is besides the point. She came in this, I don't want to make it sound bad, but half-blood. not a full of the Deep Saldari, with a former exile, a individual named Kavod, and they took the tournament by storm and have earned their place. I have something in my teeth, I apologize. And have earned their place in the Grand Houses. Now, this is a wild thing that has happened. This is the daughter of an exile bringing another exile with them. But they had the promise, they had the funds, they had the plan. And so now we deal with a new music festival. I would say that is interesting, no?
So there's a fight, but it's the fight. You fight to the death, and the person who comes out on top is the new head of the house.
We make it sound like it is only one fight. It is a long-standing tournament.
No,
Every lesser house pizza fighter.
Yeah, you just talked for a long time, and I kind of ebbed in and out. So I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure I was getting everything that you were saying.
You can drop the act. It's okay.
Oh, thank God.
Now, one thing that I am aware of, you may know about Tev'Elyan. Sigils, the bracelets, necklaces, those sorts of things. It was actually my champion who spotted, I believe you, and he points, they point towards you, Cori. As well as a very large individual traipsing around in the realm beyond yesterday while at their favorite bar.
I was concerned that particular person might have something to do with your house.
Oh, yes, no, that is part of the symbols, yes.
Who was that?
Stated, my champion.
I
see.
Sorry, I was asking for a name, but...
This thing in my teeth is really not coming out.
No. Do you want to... I have...
No, it's fine.
Lost.
I will figure it out later.
Okay.
They go by the name of Raoul.
I did tell them to keep that to themselves.
And that is the thing. When a ghost tells you, don't tell anyone you've seen me, the first thing you want to do is tell everyone that you saw a ghost. A threatening ghost.
Well, I mean...
I'll keep that in mind for next time.
It's less of a ghost and more of a spirit.
Which I would absolutely love to meet someday.
And to be fair, I'm not a ghost at all.
Yeah, I can see that. You are half ghost? Ghost on your mother's side.
Not at all. Though, what exactly qualifies a ghost?
I think Grayskull's more of a spirit than a ghost. I think ghosts are like more wispy. Grayskull's like shiny.
But getting back to the actual conversation, this fight, this contest.
Yes.
Is that happening within the week?
No, this happened years ago. That is how we arrived to where we are today. No, for things that are happening this week, next several days, I am, how you say, curious, to say the least.
I presume there's a reason you're giving us all this information.
Oh, yes. That, of course, being that you travel with my dear Oliviette. That and you all look like people with purpose. I like people with purpose.
Thank you. Okay, but do you want to see a spirit right now?
If you want to present one, I will never turn it away.
All right. Is anybody available for a little bit of a show? Does anybody want to perform?
Hakan Hakan the Graveblade is like, yeah.
All right.
Jakan Hornbluff also available. Grayskull always down to party. Pretty much any of your spirits are ready whenever. They aren't doing anything else except maybe like playing dice or something.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's get Jakula here.
Okay. And there is a tiefling Goliath. Yeah, and it's like silent. They're like, because again, it's all on the other realms.
Yeah.
And you see Percival just absolutely fascinating. He doesn't seem like he's in pain at all. Like,
no, they just live in my head.
Just rent free? You don't charge them or anything?
Oh no, they help me.
And what do you do for them? Is this
Carry
guess I
on
show
the
them...
warrior's tradition.
Yeah, and I show them the world as it is now. And my tribe.
Grand plans is what that sounds like.
Yes, I show them the glory of battle.
And Percival nods.
Not quite the reaction I wanted, but that's okay. All right, goodbye.
And they say, back to the task at hand. Rules and norms are only called as such because no one ever bothers to raise an eyebrow. But I was content to play the game of these houses. I'd assumed that the house whose name I had bolstered upon my own means would be more of a mutation upon the rest of Tev'Elyan, that one day historians would look upon the mark of my station and see that I had lived a life in defiance of the expected. So imagine my shock when in the wake of Oliviette's mother's span, the new blood would willingly intervene in the games of old. Have you ever had a practitioner of medicine discover the weakness within your bloodline? Animals, nature, chemical tinctures and tonics, drinks, inhalants, a dependency on sweets, each possess a detriment in our own right. Charliza is the scraper that applies that test to the rest of Tev'Elyan, a true aggregate unto this society. This necropalooza, as it has been marketed as, is revolutionary. While everyone else has looked upon the game that is being played, this event is set to destroy the very table that the board rests on. I mean, simply look at the lineup. Humans, dwarves, Seldari, gnome, goblin. The very nature of this reverie of real life and revelry, as she so claims, skews the idea as what it means to be a resident of Tev'Elyan. Her actions will not go unnoticed, but rightfully, I don't know how long until this powder keg of a plan has until the point of combustion. But for my guesses, I can only assume that her plan will culminate at the end of the festival. There are quite a few eyes watching these from the shadow, and while others may fear what it means to the future, I for one welcome the inevitable collapse of this wretched place. Digestive? Anyone? Biscuit?
Thank you.
So, what do you want to see happen?
I want to see it play out exactly as it is supposed to. If nothing ends up happening, I'm fine. If things end up going, what is the phrase?
Tits up.
That is the one. Up a heavy creek without a paddle. My family has stayed in good business for a long time. You see, I assume you saw the large sea of mercury behind me. People need to travel. If I cannot make poisons, I can at least make sails. We can return to building ships. There's always something to do here. My point that I am getting at the end of this festival, the city as it stands, if it is still standing, will be very different. Already, if you have seen festival goers, we were talking about sigils, about markings of station. Charliza has skewed the game in a way where they almost don't mean anything anymore. Festival goers are being equipped with bands around their wrist that allow them to get in and out of the festival. These are temporary members of her house. Much in the same way that Raoul is a member of my house. The concert goers, the performers, everyone who is coming in, these are our temporary house menstruation. This music festival is the equivalent of an army in an uprising.
Hell yeah. Do we have a side, guys?
I don't know, but whatever side you're on, I'd like to at least provide some support.
I'm pretty sure once we do our deed, we're bamfing out of here, right?
We don't have a horse in this particular race.
Yeah. But should we fight? Because I feel like if we fight, we will tip the scales one way or the other. I can't believe I just said that. And somebody should be clapping, honestly.
You see silently Jakan like, yes! Like, he's giving you an ovation in the background. Yeah.
I love you.
Right. So, above the board, if this guy wants to see everything happen according to Charlize's plan, us stealing the staff from her is not going to make that happen. So I don't know if we want to announce that in front of him.
I've not mentioned our plans. Just like once we're done here, we're out, right?
Right. But like, I'm not. I don't feel like I'm getting a sense that us announcing our intentions is going to be good for us right now.
Yeah. In any case, whichever side this goes on, Percival is gonna be okay. So, like, we don't need to fight this war.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'd like to, throughout this entire conversation, I want to consult with Rife.
Okay.
What is their opinion of Percival?
Rife likes Percival, but for the sole purpose that they do not speak lies, but they have found that middle ground between truth and untruth.
Mm-hmm.
Or, in any case, the truth that they are willing to speak and share seems kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
And Rife is totally on board with that, as far as being a judge of character. Their intentions seem pure, but whether or not it's like a pure good or pure evil, Percival is like just sort of floating the line in between.
Great. What about Olivia?
Oliviette has been awfully quiet through a lot of this, mostly because the DM has a hard time doing that accent for two different characters at the same time. But as far as what's being said, Oliviette has a little bit of a harder expression, like she's giving more of a discerning look, trying to figure out, in the same sense that you all are, what is Percival's game. They haven't seen each other in a long time, so the fact that Percival is very openly informing all of you of these goings on, she is rather curious about that. And I think that she would even like bring that up as, oh, why are you telling us all of this? And Percival would sit back into their larger chair and say, because the ways that things are now in the city are unsustainable. And what the greater houses did to you, sister, is something I have not forgiven them for yet. And I don't believe I ever will. And she, like, gets this look where it's just like, you don't have to, this isn't for me. You're not doing this for me. Like, if anything, it's the understanding on her end that this is an excuse to do something that they've wanted for a long time. And I think Oliviette would even bring that up, of saying that this isn't for me, this is for you. And Percival will smile at that and say, I am head of the Poisoners Guild. We create poisons and we create medicines. Sometimes in order to heal or to cut things off where they are, they must first go necrotic. I am a slow actor with one goal: to break down the structure of the cell in a way that whoever is left in my wake will be but a statistic. A message of their bravery will turn into a warning of hubris, and all that will remain is but a husk of pride.
Gwen, like, eyes wide, like, that really spoke to her. She, like, turns to the rest of the group, like, no.
All right. Well, just making sure I'm remembering correctly. This person's champion is the warlock that saw Cori and Gray Skull in the lobby, right?
That is correct, yes.
This warlock had a special pair of bracelets.
That is correct. That looked like they had needles pointing on the inside.
Yeah, okay. Just checking.
Yes. You can talk to Percival about the bracelets.
I'm working my way up to it.
Okay.
What exactly do you want from us?
I want you to make sure that she is safe. Nods towards Oliviette. She is my sister. Not by blood. Not by the bindings of the housing structure.
In order to keep us safe, should we not go to the festival?
Go to the festival. But be prepared that if anything happens to her, I know your faces.
Insight.
Yeah.
I
Roll it.
respect the shit out of that.
20.
20. There is an understanding from Percival that during Oliviette's, like, this is the protective older sibling situation. Percival, at this point in time, has not spoken hyperbole. They have used metaphor, but they have not stated anything that was an untruth.
Was there any reaction whenever I asked specifically if we should stay away from the festival?
The
'Cause
reaction was they didn't seem to have it wasn't a negative or a positive reaction. If if y'all end up not wanting to go to the festival, Percival's not going to be like, rats, my plans. But it is more of Percival believes that going to the festival would be in your best interest. And will further state that from the other concerts that Charliza has put on, has produced this silvered symphony, as she calls her production committee. She typically likes to make an appearance during the final set. If you are looking to find her, going to the festival is going to be one of the easiest ways to do so. If you choose not to go to the festival, Percival is willing to give you coordinates to the Manstrayan house, to the estate. There you would have to get past the guards, her champion, and make your way into the home. And as far as Percival is concerned, one of these is easier to do than the other. However, they will not strong arm you into their suggestion one way or the other.
Overt or covert? Which one are we doing?
I have heard the adventuring types like to yell, I bust down the door, that sort of thing.
I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
Since when?
I'm kidding.
It's not always
I-
the best choice.
Yeah. I usually let them tell me when it's time to go.
Since when?
For like the last, since we got back together, haven't you noticed me going, are we gonna go to war? Instead of, we're going to war!
Oh, I thought you were just really excited.
I have children to look after now, okay? I got a tribe. I gotta think about them. I can't just go willy-nilly into battle.
Personal growth. I can respect that.
It's been years, okay?
Gwen
This
isn't a
had to happen
two-dimensional
eventually.
character.
I'm not... What?
You're multifaceted.
Thank you. I do have many facets. I have a lot of pockets, too.
And at that, I think that, like, Percival just sort of nods.
This is our way of thinking.
Well, if it helps, let me just check here. Whoop, that is too much on the notes. Percival
5,000
does have-
Tarrasques.
Not yet, boyo. Percival is going to show you the set lists as far as who all is on, who you can expect to be on, and on what day. So for, I need to just move some things around. And then I will send that in our chat on Discord. So the bands that you would be able to see, or at least go to, ones to expect, are going to be listed here. Why do I have Excel open? I don't need that.
So are we under the assumption that she's just going to have the wand on her?
That's the assumption.
It is a very powerful item to just leave lying around otherwise.
Do I know the wand of... I probably don't. I was going to ask if I knew the wand of Orcus well enough to do a locate object on it.
We'd have to get closer to the grounds as well.
Okay.
I believe the wording is an object you know well. Let me look it up. Hold on. Locate object.
Oh man, Ed Sheeran is playing tomorrow. We could wait around for that, right?
I should look at them.
He's a satyr.
Locate object.
That is the set
An object that is familiar to you. It's not... I wouldn't say I'm familiar with it. Not yet.
All right, so for the bands that you could possibly go and investigate around today, do some recon work. There was the opening with Pub Crawler. There is Cinder with an S. Troop 182, and that seems to be 3 different members of Hell Scout Troop 182 who have decided to form a band. Carlos Santana and Rob Thomas.
Oh.
Stallions of Wild Space. The headliner for today is the band Denizen, all caps. And then tomorrow opens with The Spinal 3, Lies, 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 Brutalizer, Beertooth, Something Wicked, Chorus of She, The Road of Promise, and the final headliner being Power Word Thrill.
I love you. What the fuck is a Hell Scouts camp?
Oh, I believe from what I was talking to someone, they send their younglings down to camp so that they can survive hell a little bit better. Teach
Oh.
them all sorts of skills like bowery, archery, torture.
Oh shit.
It's
Yeah,
the
no,
basics.
I like that. Yeah. No, rope tying, you know. I want to do
believe-
that. I want to see them.
I believe the lessons on taxonomy was pretty good down there too. They gave a little pamphlet at the end.
Did he say that she would be there at every headliner or just the final headliner?
From what Percival knows, Charliza would appear during the final headliner, being Power Word Thrill.
Thrill.
Well, you've certainly given us a lot to think about.
And Percival nods and says, continue to think here, if you'd like, in the safety and comfort of House Kizavet. If you need anything else from me, feel free to reach out to one of the staff, and I will do my best to pause whatever I am doing and hope that it stays stable long enough for me to come and chat.
Caelum's just going to slide the napkin across the table to Percival. It is a set of basically wards and runes that have the activation once noise hits a certain decibel threshold, silence on your bed.
Percival appreciates this. Like the telltale, like, Percival will remember this, like pops up on the bottom of your vision.
Percival likes this.
Why does this keep happening to me?
Ah.
All right, and yeah, I think that as Percival stands up and offers you the room, and Caelum, you make sure that you have given this set of instructions to them as to how best not have noise bother them into all hours of the day. That is where we are going to go for a break. We're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see y'all shortly. All right, everybody, see you soon.
See you soon.
We're back.
Simon!
Yahoo!
Hey, do you know sometimes before I open up my refrigerator, I knock on the door?
Is it to scare any of the ghosts of the food you forgot to eat? Because I do that.
No, there might be a salad dressing.
Oh, I see. You gotta be polite. You really do. Okay, real talk. Salad dressing of choice.
Ranch,
Ooh.
Midwest.
Vinaigrette.
I'm basic Caesar.
Yeah, vinaigrette's pretty good.
There's
If it's on a salad,
Yeah.
ranch is kind of like, for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really enjoy. There's like a poppy seed balsamic that I've gotten lately. It's really good. Been enjoying it. But you wanna know what else I
Merry
enjoy?
Christmas,
Not
everyone.
not for salad, but Whataburger jalapeno ranch. It's good on so many things.
The Wendy's Ghost Pepper Ranch is really good too.
There's a Wendy's near my work, and I've been eating there a lot. It's fine. D&D. Anyways.
Oh.
So.
Croutons or wonton chips? Nights in the Courtyard.
What? Okay. Somebody post that in Nights. I want to know more about that. Anyways, speaking of things that I
Merry
want to know
Christmas.
more about. Crimby! At Christmas.
Happy Chrysler.
Happy Chrysler.
Merry Christmas.
This is a Toyota-thon household. Thank you very much.
It's Hyundai season.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone.
So, Percival has left this large room, breakfast, all of that, to continue their work, to leave the lot of you to kind of determine what is Percival's deal, and two, also, what is the plan moving forward? As you have this large room and seemingly safe space in order to plot and or plan.
Arjhan, can you bring up the conference room, please?
I bring up the conference room.
Go in. Olivia, I just want to say you're part of this family. If there's anything you want us to do, you know we got you, right?
And Oliviette kind of like takes a deep breath, exhales, and she has there's a look of consternation on her face, and she says, "You never truly realize how much you've changed and how much you've grown. Then when you go back to your hometown and realize that the people that you thought would change the most are exactly what you thought they would become."
Isn't that the truth?
I miss the actual sea and not motions behind her. It's a good sea. It's just, you can't go swimming in it, or Sigurd would have
fish in
hated it. There are creatures who do inhabit them, yes.
There's a look of horror on Caelum's face, like, what?
We'll just leave it as, how you say, groovy mutation.
Now I'm thinking Evil Dead. Pours himself a bottle of small flute glass of champagne, orange juice, mimosa.
Oh, out of character. Did we think to check the breakfast for poison?
Nope.
I'm on mute. I did think about it, but I can't do it
It
subtly.
seems a little on the nose, right?
I can't do it subtly. But if he's left the room,
Yeah.
ritual cast detect poison.
The only poison that seems to register comes from the beverages that Caelum is in the process of pouring himself, but it is not in the orange juice. It is only in the champagne part of it. It seems like alcohol registers as a poison on that, but as anything else, it doesn't seem like there is anything else. Yes, Caelum.
If a person with lactose intolerance casts detect poisons, would milk light up for them? Nights in the courtyard.
Yes, we can Nights in the courtyard. That I was literally about to do the math on that one, but yeah, there doesn't seem to be any poison. It seemed like, I mean, Percival was eating the same food that y'all were, but that doesn't really mean much when they have grown up around poisons and can do the whole like iocane powder. I've spent my life developing an immunity.
Immunity iocane powder.
They totally could.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the food does not seem to have been poisoned. It seems like this breakfast was an act of good faith.
Well, Oliviette, this Percival does seem to care for your well-being. What do you think?
Given the situation, I mean, I will take whatever help I can get on that end.
No, I more was asking, do you believe that Percival cares for your well-being?
Yes. Yes, I do. Do I think that they would put their own well-being above mine? No. And I think that is truly the most terrifying. This is a individual who has access to the deadliest poisons that the Sildari have ever created beneath the surface of the world. This is a individual who has actively said in the last 30 minutes that they are looking forward to the day that this society crumbles, to feel like I am something that they hold dear does not make me feel good. It makes me feel safe in the way that in a mama's play where they say, don't worry, I like you, I'll kill you last kind of thing goes on. It very much gives me that sort of feeling. But Percival and we do have a history. We went on many missions together, grew up as much as you can down here together in the same circles. And in a way, I did look up to them as a sibling. But I don't think that they have realized that I have grown into my own person, that I don't need someone looking out for me anymore. But I don't think that they are the kind of persons that if you told them that, they would take that information well. Or listen, if you did.
Perhaps one day they'll have the chance to learn that. But in the meantime, we can probably trust that they won't suggest any course of action that's going to be overtly harmful to you, at least.
She nods. Also, I would like to point out, breakfast down here kind of sucks. Like, I enjoy a nice fruit juice. I enjoy sitting on the deck of my ship, feeling the, wind is a thing. The spray of the sea. I love all of that. I miss it. The longer we are down here, the more I miss it.
Well, the news being your ship is attuned to one of the very few spell circles that I know, so we can get there instantly.
Lucky me.
Ah. So,
I
sorry, Cori.
It's all right. Considering deciding our next course of action, I think the biggest question, or rather the deciding factor, is going to be whether or not she carries the wand with her.
A very powerful artifact like this, it shouldn't be left alone.
Well, certainly not. So it will either be on her or it will be at her home under guard.
I have a very big concern.
How do you mean?
Sits down in a conference chair, scroll, starts writing. So I know some bards have a talent of keeping the attention of certain individuals for periods of time, and while they're under that effect, they're more susceptible to magical influences. What if
Go on.
What if during one of these performances something like that happens? Someone implants, like, say, punch the dude next to you in someone's brain, and later on there's just a riot in town.
Well, I suppose that certainly could happen. But
Or I could just
how-
start a riot.
oh, is that are we suggesting this as a course of action? Is that what we want to happen?
I'm suggesting it as a concern.
Right.
It is a concern. I was actually more of the thinking of, well, there's a reason it's called Necropalooza.
How are you doing, Arjhan?
I'm thinking.
That's fair.
Ideally, I want to get this before anything has the chance of happening. Which would mean ambushing. Either ambushing her on the way to the thing or
At her
stealing it.
house. Yeah. I can check my spellbook to see if I can assist you with anything on that front.
What is her house's specialty?
Percival would have informed you that the house specialty that Charliza had brought was entertainment, theater, the arts. Seems,
Truly.
Yeah, it seems that as far as what the other houses have brought, there wasn't a whole lot of wiggle room, to be fair. There was already the mercantile, there was already magical research, there was already clerical, poisons. You kind of had your bases covered on a lot of things, so there really isn't much that people can provide, which is how the rest of the houses have kept such a tight grip on on their positions.
Caelum's concerns about enchantment are a lot more prevalent, I think.
I'm the magic guy. I'm supposed to worry about these kind of things.
So if that is the case, are you all looking to just infiltrate now? We go over, crossbows blazing, halflings raging, all of that sort of thing, and just...
And a partridge in a pear tree.
give me 24 hours and I can see what I can do to make that happen.
Where are you gonna get a partridge this far down?
That's why I need 24 hours, Caelum. It's not an easy request.
So do we think we want to try and actually break into a house today?
Maybe we should scope it. I assume
Probably for the
security
best.
at the festival will be a lot more manageable than a drow house. We know what we can expect from city guard, but who knows what's going on at their place.
The only other thing that I would suggest would be to ambush her on the way.
Stake out her place, and as soon as she leaves, jump her.
Well, spend the next couple of days finding an appropriate spot and opportunity. A diversion.
Maybe we can call her out somehow. A secret meeting in an alley, and then...
What are the chances that she'd be willing to just trade for the wand?
What would you have to offer her?
I don't know.
Or would you just say, hey, let's trade for this thing. Meet me in this dark alleyway. Come alone.
Oh, I hadn't even considered that. I suppose we could
Well-
do that.
I have something to offer.
Oh,
Yeah?
well, we could seduce. We don't do that very often.
Olivia just quick blinks, looks at you and just
What?
nothing.
Just
It's
offering
just
ideas.
no. It's been a long enough time that it seems kind of off-putting when you say it like that.
Well, I just we want to get her alone. I was just thinking it's an idea. I was throwing things out there. I'm usually the punchy person. I don't usually give out ideas, but maybe I won't anymore.
No, it's your ideas are
It's-
valid and are of merit in this group.
Thank you.
The
Thank
course
Well-
of action, for sure.
In any case, I think reconnaissance is the best place to start. We don't have to make a decision now. Let's get more information and then decide what the best course of action is from there.
So we want to recon somewhere in between the festival and wherever we think her house is.
I think Percival would have gave us coordinates
Yeah.
to that if we brought it up to
Percival's-
them.
They're a helpful drow. They're a helpful and respectable member of the Deep Seldari.
Are they willing to be a safe house, essentially? Are they willing to...
Yeah, they'll put you up. Because again, if anything happens to Olivia, this whole place is going to the ground.
Woo! Okay, sounds
A
good to me.
question to Percival if they know.
I realized that the moment that the possibility of a heist became involved, I'm just using Sly Cooper terminology. So
You gotta find her safe house, Coriander!
Would
Jump and
Pers-
press the circle button.
Would Percival happen to know the wand holder's persuasion when it came to this honeypot tactic that we might employ?
Charliza seems to partake in the pleasures of the flesh, if that is the kind of thing that you are asking.
Which way that axe swing?
I mean, to
Yes.
give it one simple direction seems very, very limiting. Charliza does not care. She's the head of a house.
Which way that axe whirlwind? Okay.
It has to swing one particular way. She has greater cleave and can keep going as long as she wants.
Well, while you are all scouting out potential routes, I can try my hand at some poetry.
Caelum, my understanding of trying to woo a drow matron in the Underdark, it's probably more dangerous than you're anticipating.
It can have long-lasting repercussions, I can tell you that much.
Let's see if I can explain this in terms that you would understand. Have you ever heard of a praying mantis?
I don't see how the church has anything to do with this.
Oh dear.
Well, I didn't want to say Black Widow because that was
Little on
That's
the
Oh.
nose.
that felt a little
a little on the
insensitive.
nose. I don't know how sensitive the praying mantis analogy is, to be honest.
I wasn't aware they were married.
Okay, hold on.
Kaylee,
I
she
understand
could kill
they're-
you. She could kill you.
So could
And-
dairy, but I still consume.
And no one would bat an eye. It would be very easy for her physically and socially to do so.
Yeah, but we forget. Well, don't forget that Caelum is a very, very powerful wizard. And if Caelum's not up to it, I will bite this bullet.
Excuse me. Just walks down the corridor, sends a sending to Diantha. Hey, I might have to seduce a drow matron. Just want to be clear you're okay with it.
I love D&D.
I mean,
So Diantha, the Caelum of Spring.
Look, we never do this,
You're
okay?
betrothed.
Let me have this.
Your partner will message you back and say, and it takes a little bit of time. Like, it's not an immediate, like, obviously.
Yeah.
If you're sure this will help your mission, are they pretty? And she just leaves it at that.
This is a trap. This is a
Oh,
trap.
she has baited the trap set and is waiting for your response.
Caelum being a dumbass. Haven't seen it yet. It's just, or haven't seen them yet. It's just a plan we have. Don't know if we'll do it yet.
The response that you get back is just, okay.
There is a face. Hmm. When a woman just gives you a one-worded answer that's just okay, that's bad, right?
Oh, you're going to die again.
Yeah, it seems like a no.
X-nay on the honeypot. Clear, open communication's how relationships should work, right?
No, you're right. That's good to check in. I wouldn't have. Well, I was not gonna sleep with her. I'm just saying.
Olivia,
I feel like we are getting a little off track here. Yes.
on that note, if I have to seduce her, where are we on that?
This is a very interesting conversation to have surrounded by all of your friends.
I am sorry.
I'm gonna take
If
my
there was
mimosa
another-
outside if anyone else wants to
If there
join
was
me.
another- If there was another conference room that we could go into.
All I am saying is this. The honeypot is a solid idea when you already know the target. For all we know, they are not even interested in this thing. In which
You know,
case,
you make-
we are
you
throwing
make a good point.
we are throwing our friends at a brick wall and expecting
we-
rejection.
At this point, yes. No, you're correct. I think that we've grown a bit too cautious. We're trying to plan for things that we don't even have information for. We need to narrow things down first.
Yes. I would like to scope out the place. I would like to scope out the place in between the festival and her house.
I'm going to summon oh fuck. Twig. I'm summoning Twig.
Okay.
Sorry, all I could think of was Whisper.
It's been so long. Yeah. And just from Wraith's Ring, you see this little fox spirit.
I'm gonna send Twig to go and do reconnaissance where Arjhan suggested.
Okay.
The path between the festival and her house, right?
Okay.
Yes, we're looking for advantageous spots.
Okay. And you all
Do-
want to go follow along with, or just like, we'll
Yeah.
let the familiar go?
Actually, like, why don't we just go there? And then I'm gonna send Twig into her house.
That's a better plan.
Okay.
But yes.
I can also
do that.
cast Find Familiar and bring out Tikan to help with recon.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, Tikan riding on Twig's back.
But yeah, we want to go walk the streets and
Okay.
scout places.
Sounds good. So, confirming, that is the plan. Just walk the street, do a little recon, figure out point A, point B, not get too set on the honeypot, which is even funnier now that you've decided to toss that idea because Caelum sending still happened. It's enjoyable.
Have I been
to me.
misinformed about the importance of communication?
No, not at all. I just thought it was funny. Your group is able to collect your things. You're at no problem. While you are exiting the house, I would say that you hear the sound of combat, but from the sound of combat that is going on, it definitely sounds like it is more of a training situation. And as you pass by and kind of can like see into the training room from the hallways that you're leading down, you actually see that there is that like rather like scared looking jittery human Raoul who is going up against what looks like it looks like a troll has been like put as like the, hey, you gotta fight against this guy in order to do your training successfully. And Raoul, like you see, is just like there's no weapons in his hands at all. It looks like they are very much a hand-to-hand combat individual and are just like slapping the troll on either side of its face. They do not seem to be like they don't have like a smile on their face or being playful about it. This does seem like is this training a fight to the death? Like what is with these people? But again, they are there as you pass by. Exiting the building, you make your way back into the central city of Tev'Elyan, and it seems like the city itself is a lot more alive than it was previously. It seems like bands have begun to start playing again. And as you get closer, you can hear that it is kind of like, you can hear the sound of a guitar, but it's very... a lot of these guitar sounds that you're hearing and a lot of the drum sounds sound much bigger, almost like they're being amplified through either magical or technological means. A lot of bars and taverns that you visited, they all have more of like that singer-songwriter acoustic vibe, and regardless of how lively it is, like this is the first time that like you're hearing a concert for more of like a modern take on it, except those of you who have seen Crown perform, as Tiamat is, ahead of her time as far as what she is able to provide. Oh, excuse me. So at this point, you can hear there are cheers, there are people like throwing all sorts of revelry for the band that is on, and you hear that show is actually wrapping up, or at least they say like, we only have 2 more songs for you guys today, and next up, Carlos Santana and Rob Thomas, everybody! And there's like a huge cheer of the people there who seem to be excited for Rob Thomas and Carlos Santana.
You just see Gwen like, so going by.
Yeah, if
I
you'd
thought
like.
we're gonna see some music.
This life ain't good enough. My world.
So
Lift you up.
yeah, while you are traveling around and looking about this city, I'd like for everybody to make either a perception or an investigation check, depending on how best you want to be able to kind of look around. Or if you have another skill that you think would be better suited than investigation or perception, sell me on it, and then we can figure it out from there.
I got a 25 in perception as Gwen's looking around the crowd, tearing her eyes away from the awesome people on stage.
I got a 28.
A 28? Okay.
I think Caelum just puts a hand on Cori's shoulder, closes his eyes, and is just trying to tune everything out to see if he could catch anything the crowd is saying. As they walk by guards, like, what's the deets?
I got a 23 on perception.
God
And
damn.
I got a 12 on perception.
Isn't
Dang.
your perception bonus like plus 10 or some shit, though?
Nice.
Arjhan's overwhelmed.
Oh my god.
There's a lot here, and everybody really distracted Arjhan with the honeypot. Because I'll be fair, Arjhan nor I knew what the honeypot plan was.
I don't think any of us still really know what the honeypot plan is. We just wanted to say honeypot.
I know.
It was just
I
two
know what the
players
honeypot is.
with the same like pushing each other and trying to like be like, no, me
No,
actually.
I'll do the honeypot.
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
That was a new
my
term for me.
With my 23 perception.
Okay. So I would say, Arjhan, again, overwhelmed. People, loud music. The fact that this is called Necropalooza also does not bode well. There's a lot going on that you're like trying to focus on. And it is not generating a whole lot of benefits. For the rest of you three, you can hear the set going on. The song that is like one of the last two songs that's being played, arguably the lyrics are a little crass, a little vulgar, but you can hear laughter mixed in with the cheers. It seems like whatever Troop 182 is doing at this particular point in time, they really have the crowd kind of eating out of the palm of their hand. And getting a good look at what you are able to see as this band, you can see that it is a set of 3 half-elves, actually, that are just like having a good time. They look like they're just kind of enjoying themselves. They're a little on the older side, but you know, it doesn't really matter because their spirit is young, and that is the part that counts. You also are able to overhear that there is talks of an after party for tonight's set that is going to be held at House Manstrayan. It looks like Charliza is inviting members of the bands to come back. And like if you're part of the band or you're being brought as a +1 with the band, that you are able to then kind of join in with this overall party. Sounds like a great time, right? Continuing on, you start noticing, at least the 3 of you, the idea of a vantage point is very hit or miss in this city, because even though the buildings go up, and even though there are some that are indeed higher than others, or there are alleyways that are a little bit tighter packed, everywhere is still visible by that massive stalactite that hangs from the center of this massive cavern, which you know belongs to House Latresiarch. However, whether or not people are actually like looking down, yada yada, you assume that they are because they're like the higher ups of society, and what better way to look down upon the people, quote unquote, beneath you than to physically be looking down on the people beneath you. What you're guessing, and kind of what you're overhearing as well, is that people have even brought up that They think it's wild that the head of House Manstrayan walks with a small group of what seems like 3 or 4 other individuals. They don't seem to walk with like a mass of guards with them, but being a member of the upper house means that they are able to call upon the city guard as if they were their own personal guard. So as far as being able to try and find her by herself, an issue of never truly being alone, that kind of thing. The third thing that you all hear is that while they are not the headliner by any means, there seems to be a real general buzz over the band Stallions of Wild Space, because they are saying that they don't like the band members, from what they've seen, are unlike anything that these folks have seen before. There are 2 humans that are speaking a language that sounds very similar to like the language of the Deep Seldari, this kind of like French-ish accent, but they can't parse it. It doesn't sound like common, and it doesn't sound like anything else. You have to use a comprehend language to hear these 2 individuals. And the other 2, who are on guitars and vocals, are Gith. They are a set of Githyanki that seem to be very excited to be able to play in a festival.
Is that Bill and Ted?
It is indeed Bill and Ted, as they are the Stallions of Wild Space. And when you say that, they do a little...
God damn it. Oh, Simon is impressed.
Well, at least we have an in to the after party tonight if we can meet up with Bill and Ted.
Do we know Bill and Ted?
We do.
When did we
Does
meet them?
Gwen know Bill and Ted?
She does, because she was with Arjhan when they went on that space thing, right?
Was Arjhan on that adventure?
That was while
Arjhan.
Caelum was recovering. When you all were in the Astral Sea, you had to go and help do a first kill against some mind flayers, and it turned out that Bill and Ted were 2 of the Githyanki that had joined you on that excursion. Mm-hmm. That is where you met Raza, the red dragon.
I also
I have no
believe
memory of this
we
place.
met them when at Santar's workshop when the mind flayers or the Nautiloids were invading.
Yes, back when the man known as Jeff had tried to automate Christmas. Yes, I mean the holidays, not Christmas.
Who needs notes, baby? I got it all up here.
Yeah, no, that was definitely
we
a
know
thing
Bill
that
and
happened.
Ted. Cool.
We do know Bill and Ted. That absolutely happened. They fought Illithids, and we fought them together. It was excellent.
They thought it was excellent.
After Bill and Ted's
was.
set list is finished,
Okay, you got to wait for a few more shows to go through, but eventually you do meet them. One of the things that you also overhear while you are waiting is what looks like a human that is up on stage, and they look very nervous. And you see what would pass as another human, but Ryth is like pinging that this is some ancient creature, borderline deity that sits there, and you can kind of like, with your 28 perception, your really high perception, you hear the man just, I don't want to do this anymore. And the eyes of the other individual glow and say, we had a deal, Rob. Eternal fame for one song, one perfect tune. And Rob and fucking Rob Thomas and Carlos Santana rip on. It's a great time. Next up is indeed Stallions of Wild Space. Their set is... There's some confusion as to the members of the crowd. This seems a little raw. seems a little under-practiced compared to the individuals that you have seen and heard perform before. There are audience members who seem to really like this, and that they say that this music is it stays true to the original message of what it means to be punk, and you don't really know what that means. Other than maybe it's a genre. And then there are others that are complaining that they liked their earlier stuff and they're sellouts now. And like, there's like you don't know who to listen to because you're hearing two very different things about the same band that's playing. And you guys know Bill and Ted with the band, and they seem to kind of just be enjoying themselves. And ultimately that is what is going on with the audience. They seem to just be enjoying the fact that these two musicians, while they may not be good, their riffs may not be as catchy as they had hoped. They're doing their thing. They're just up there, they're performing. And at the end of the set, you watch as they like wave and say, they yell thank you. They are the stallions of wild space, and they make like little guitar riffs up into the air, and they tell you to hold on for the next band, as they are going to be there shortly. That, of course, being the headliner, Denizen. Now, Bill and Ted go behind the set. You kind of, I would say for the four of you, give me a stealth roll. Kind of make it through venue security and sneak your way into the back.
I was just gonna contact Bill and Ted and say that we're out back.
You could also do that thing. Okay, so you contact Bill and Ted and say we're out back, and just, whoa, who's talking in my brain place?
It's Caelum from the Four Keeps. We saw your set. You guys did amazing.
Dude, they liked our set! Right? No, they were like, they're out back and stuff, yeah! And then within like 5 minutes, you see that the two of them, with the two human individuals, come up and just, oh my god, it's been so long since we've seen you guys! Like, what is up, my dudes? Do you like our set? You like our music?
It was great. Y'all did amazing.
You shredded hard, man.
And they nod and say, yeah, no, like so, okay, long story short, we went to a world that was a little weird. We met these two dudes that were in a box, and they were like, we're having problems with our school papers. And we were like, whoa, that's crazy. We're having problems with authority ourselves. And then
Bill and Ted meet Bill and Ted?
They left, man. They said their names were Bill and Ted, or at least that's what the worm in my ear said that their names were. And then, they left and said, hey, make sure to like teach these ladies how to play music. And we were like, I don't really know how to play music my fucking self, but like, here we are, man. Necropalooza, rock on.
Wow.
And the two individuals in the back, we as humans would know, they were just speaking French to each other.
Oh, I didn't know they knew Undercommon.
It doesn't translate, to be fair.
No,
Yeah.
French and Undercommon.
Roger, Dodger.
So, like,
okay,
what's
I
up,
heard
man? Yeah, it's been a
We
grip.
heard there's a gnarly party after this, and
my
we
God.
so want to go.
Dudes, dudettes, those in betweens. We were thinking about going to that party. Cause like, it's supposed to be like crazy, man. It's supposed to be just fucking wild.
We should totes go.
We should
All
totes
of
go.
us.
That and like,
Oh, but
my
we're not
God.
invited because we're not in the band.
No. Okay. So like, here's how you get with it, right? I need to ask a really serious question, like the most serious question I've ever asked before, okay? And the one who isn't speaking, just, serious, like, serious. Can you play music? And Oliviette is like, what the fuck is this? Like,
I can, actually. I can very well. Caelum can attest to this.
All right. There's only one rule. We get solos, and we're the lead vocalist. We need, like, somebody on keyboards, a bass, maybe, like, one of those synthesizer thingies that, that Cinder had, those dwarves, you know, that sounded like they were, like, still, like, making metal and stuff while they were up on stage. We need one of those things. If you have, like a single drum, you know, like, you don't want to take one of these ladies' positions, but, like, if you have, like, that single drum, that, or, like, two drums, man.
Yeah.
Like, we could have, like, a rolling drum sound.
There's a rummage.
Yeah, what's up?
Wait. Neither of you would want to perhaps invite Gwen to come along as one of your guests to the party?
Oh, we could totally do that. I honestly thought that you were gonna, like, volunteer and be like, I could lend some fry vocals, man. Like, like, you could do really well at that. Or
I'm really good at screaming.
Or wait, hold on, wait, Bill. Yes, Ted. Bill, I have an idea. You're like a businessman kind of guy, right?
Yes.
Would you say that you are considered an industry professional?
I am, actually.
We need a manager.
I have signed on bands.
Would you, if you want in too, if you and our new bandmate want in, we could totally do that. We could totally get you guys in. No worries, no problemo.
Great. Are you ready to sign some paperwork?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like, my hands are a little sweaty from performing, and, like, I smell little bit rank to do anything legalizing, but, like, yeah, sure.
Step into my office.
Whoa! This is crazy, man! Oh, no! And then they walk into the office with you.
I'll sign them on.
Okay. Arjhan now has his first band under his record label.
Second.
Who's the first band?
The Chromatic Dragons.
Oh, Chromatics. Right,
I got Chromatics into doing a Tiamat set list.
Yeah, and that goes places. That carries. For sure.
Chrono Matrix.
So, with that, they have been signed on. You were their manager. The rest of you three could be groupies if you wanted, or if you wanted to say that you play a specific instrument in this band, you are more than welcome to do so as well.
I don't think ukulele is gonna fit this sound.
Any instrument fits the sound, man.
Bring. No, she's going to she's gonna sign on as a heavy things carrier.
Okay. Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
They have a term. They have a name. What is it called?
Roadie.
A roadie. She's gonna be a roadie.
Caelum signs on as pyrotechnics.
I love it.
Okay. Sounds good. And Oliviette also agrees to be a roadie. Just whatever Cori's doing, Oliviette is like, this is not the plan I thought was going to happen.
Welcome, Oliviette, to a Four Keeps adventure where nothing goes as we think it does.
I always rather wondered how these things tended to turn out, but here we are.
Poorly in the first half and then strangely works its way out.
Well, we'll see about that. Right, so, with that being said, are you doing anything in the interim, talking with Bill and Ted? Are you waiting? Because, again, the after party is going to happen after this set, so you still have a good 30, 45 minutes until anything ends up happening, or are you still just kind of like figuring out the general layout of this area?
If now we have a legitimate way into the party, I don't think, besides like scoping out an exit, the scoping out the area is really necessary.
Okay.
Well, we could have Twig and Tikan riding. I could swap senses with Tikan and draw a map of the grounds.
We can be invisible.
Can
Twig can.
Well,
I? Twig
yeah.
can.
Tikan, not necessarily. That if they need to
Maybe.
part ways momentarily for Twig to go do something invisibly.
Okay. Sounds good. So, for
Don't worry, it'll be great. We'll just send them off on a tiny adventure.
Okay, so well, Twig and Tikan are having their own little mini adventure. What? So y'all are trying to make a ground map with these two?
Essentially, finding a spot close enough to the grounds where Caelum can sit down, open up a scroll, switch site with Tikan, and then just begin tracing like what they see around them, like map view.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, make a survival check.
What's my survival? Could I use my proficiency
Use.
in navigator's tools?
If it was cartography tools, maybe.
I don't think there
navigator's
are
tools?
cartography tools.
There
Are
are.
there?
Yeah,
There are.
There are. Yep.
I didn't spot it when I was shifting. Is it too late to change it?
It is.
Because I
yeah.
would
Well,
much prefer
actually,
cartography.
okay. We're
I
gonna
mean,
do
it's the
something
one
that
that you
they
would have
used
preferred.
in what was the dog one? What was the dog TTRPG?
Pugmire?
Pugmire. This is going to be a retroactive. Did I remember to do this? In order to get that, you need to succeed on a wisdom check.
Okay. No.
Okay. Yeah. You
All right,
you did not
survival it
have the
is.
hindsight in order to do that.
14, not bad.
Yeah, needed to be around a 20.
Oof. Rough outline of the grounds.
Mm-hmm. I have a general idea. Like, this is grounds. This is, like, where you're at. There's still a lot of hustle and bustle, and sharing senses when there's already this amount of liveliness going on is a rather difficult thing.
Caelum comes out of it, eye twitching. Ugh.
And you are noticing as well that with a lot of the people that are traveling around Tev'Elyan, especially closer to House Menstrayan, that they all have these kind of like blue papery looking bracelets that have that symbol of House Menstrayan on them. The smiling and the frowning mask that are slightly offset on either side. And you can see that there are individuals who, like, they've seen the bands that they came to see, and they're, like, trying to take off the band, and, like, even as it's, like, crunching down and turning really thin, like, it's just not... It is, like, stronger than steel, even though it is made of paper, and they don't know why.
Just ritually detect magic.
These all have little traces of magic in them.
Do I get the school?
The school that you would get is divination.
Interesting.
Okay. So, as nightfall begins, you are able to make your way into, or at least get close to the House Menstrayan after party. Now, the thing that is baffling about this after party, it is not a secret by any means. There are spotlights that are going in like crisscrossy patterns, and like you can see, like one of the spotlights is angled to constantly be going into the windows of the giant stalactite that is hanging from the ceiling. It is almost meant to purposefully piss off House Latraziarch, and it seems like it's doing a wonderful job of that. You can see that Charliza, also known as Charlie, has imported plants from above ground. Like there are like palm trees here and you're not really sure how they are thriving at all underground in this place, but they look decent. I mean, I guess it's about who you know as far as druids go. But you start getting into, when you are in line, you start kind of overhearing more conversation. You hear bands kind of like complimenting each other. Others, you can see like there are individuals that are like kind of swapping stories back and forth and like, hey man, like seeing you in the mosh yesterday was fucking incredible. Like, I'm so glad that we're both still here. Yeah, who would have thought? Like, we both came from the same small town, but like, we've really made it, man. We finally got out of there. Yeah. And like, they're all like really happy. And it seems like this is a genuine place of revelry. You see that there are two lines specifically. One line is for anyone who is trying to get into the party who is not a band, and it seems like the bouncers there are being very specific as to who they let into this party. It seems like there is like on a CW show when you see like a college party, it's like everyone here is stupidly attractive. Like, it seems like the bouncers are like, okay, we have like a quota that we need to fill before we can start letting anybody else in. But at this party, there are dwarves, gnomes, humans, half-elves, Seldari, deep Seldari, goblins even. There are even some orcs, and the orcs don't look like regular orcs that you've seen, where instead of being very like muscular and very like kind of a stronger jaw, these look like they are exaggerated orcs, where like their jaws extend down far more than they should, and you're guessing that they might even have a little bit of troll blood in them. And as you pass by one of these orcs, Bill will actually high-five one of them and compliment them on the song that they had played on day one, which was called Red Goes Fasta. And it seems like these orcs also really enjoyed Bill and Ted's set as well. They enjoyed the Stallions of Wild Space. But you are in this house, and or at least have been welcomed into the party. It seems like your ploy of saying these are roadies, these are members of the band, this is our manager, has allowed you to get through the basic bouncers and into this party. Inside, you'll note that there are several things. One, this is a walled party. This is a walled building. You cannot just waltz in. You need to be let in through either the gate or the side gate. There is a large pool. There is a hot tub. There is the center house itself, which looks like a 2, possibly 3-story stone house that has festive lights all throughout, and you see that there are just people littered everywhere. It's a party. It's an after party for a lot of performers. Alcohol is flowing. People are just generally having a good time. And it seems like there is a lot of just conversing back and forth. What is the plan? And Oliviette is sort of like, you see that there is this look of just like, it is a mixture of confusion with a twitch or a slight poke, a slight little drip of terror and abject horror.
Cori will settle up next to her. How are you doing?
And rather than saying she is fine or she is not having a good time, she simply says very quietly, so that in this place only you and her can hear, "This was my house."
Oh.
And as she says that and looks, you hear her like, "Oh yeah, fuck this statue!" And like somebody like pushes a statue into a pool, and like there's just like general like party destruction happening. And Oliviette is just like, what the actual fuck?
She She sort of looks around for a second, and then she'll just. We can leave if you want.
No, in a way, it's actually very cathartic.
Oh, well.
It's just. I have never seen somebody peeing off of my father's balcony before. And there's like a goblin that's like shirt up over his head, just yeah! Like.
Well, in that case, enjoy it while you can.
I will do my best and stick close to you if that is all right.
More than all right.
Thank you. She'll like grab at your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Caelum's off to the side as someone's using a bust of someone of Olivia's ancestors as a pinata.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, huh.
Yeah, there's like you see that there is a troll wearing very nice clothes. It seems that they have been fitted with a rather fancy vest and some good pants, as well as a button shirt, and they just are like they are. It's them and one of the orcs that are trying to crush one of the stone busts in their hands, just to see which one of them is stronger.
Do we get any sense of where our host might be?
You would guess. Make an insight check.
21.
21. So with a 21, your guess, your understanding of party structure is that the host or hostess or whoever's providing the party will generally float around to the different groups. However, typically they are found within the recesses of the home. And you can tell that there is, like, even though the festival has stopped, the music from the bands hasn't stopped. It seems as if there is a jam session that is actually occurring inside of the house. And Arjhan, as you sort of kind of pass by individuals and brush shoulders with the definitely not Underworld's big name benefactors, you can see that there is a spectacle that is happening inside that makes your stomach sink, in that there is a younger looking drow woman who has 6 rings in total that are made of silver upon her fingers that she has outstretched, and in front of her is a almost wispy, spectral looking instrument that you have not seen. And with one hand, she passes back and forth, and with the other, she is going up and down, and it is making this rather haunting noise that seems to come from it.
It's a theremin.
It is a theremin. Her bandmates are not of the living variety, as it looks like there is a little bit of an undead scene that seems to be playing out. It seems that she's done her best to make sure that none of these corpses are on woodwind instruments, that they are all on either percussion or very simple, like single beat style notes. But there is a crowd that has gathered around her. And not only are there these undead that are playing instruments, but you can see that there are spirits in front of her that are putting forth a deathly waltz.
Am I to understand that this is her?
You, based off of, I would say that, like, while you're like, what the fuck is this? You would get like a nudge from, it would be a gnome on the shoulder of one of these large orcs. And they would confirm that for you and let you know that is indeed the hostess. This gnome seems to be very taken by her control of the undead. You never see anything like it, especially this deep far down, or at least from what they have seen, and then they will extend their hand towards you and say and introduce themselves as La Petite Mort, the Little Death. And you recognize this as one of the names that fought in the pit or in the Tournament of Champions earlier this year or earlier last year up in Surt's Hellier. And they were a gnomish necromancer.
John. Is the wand here?
The wand visibly does not look here. No.
Based off of the information that Arjhan's gotten about the wand, is it enough to be able to locate object?
I would say
he's
yes.
gotten the write-up from
Yeah.
the hunters.
I would say yes.
If I find a quiet spot to cast ritually locate object, or never mind, it's not ritual. So if I find a place to cast locate object, do I get the sense that it is within 1,000 feet?
You do get the sense that it is within 1,000 feet. And the sense of where it is coming from is from the hostess. It just does not seem like it is present on her person.
It's in her, isn't it?
Quite possibly.
Didn't we get the... Yeah.
Either that or she has a bag of holding, portable hole, some other means of concealing large objects on a person.
All right. I will make my way back to the rest of the group.
Okay. Sounds good. So, Arjhan, you were making your way back to the rest of the group. Caelum, you were looking out about the rest of the house, trying to sort of stay quiet. Were you hanging out with Bill and Ted, or is that what Gwen was up to?
Caelum would have separated a little bit to scope out the place.
Okay. Yeah. Make a perception check.
Would this be perception or active investigation?
Depends on what you would like to do to scope out. What are you necessarily scoping for, or are you just trying to find a thing?
Lay of the land. What's
Okay.
the climate looking at? Like,
Yeah, I would say that's still perception. Investigation would be if you were trying to find a specific thing.
21.
A 21? Okay. So with your perception, one thing that you are noticing is that there's a lot of individuals here that you probably would not associate with on a bad day. Necromancers are just kind of like doing their thing. Like they are like swapping spirits even. Like they're like, hey, like I got this guy who was alive like 200 years ago, but I see that you got like a human prince, and that other dude, I'm pretty sure he's a foil. Like that's a double spirit. Like I'll trade you this guy for that. Like they're like swapping it like it's a TCG.
There's one motherfucker running around like, hey, I've got this spirit. I'm looking to trade up. What you got for me?
Yeah, exactly. Like there is like that level of necromancy bullshit happening. Then you also see that like very raucous bandmates and band members are indeed just like getting sloshed and like bumping into the staff, and the staff's getting pissed, but they can't really do anything about it because that's how this society works, which is not great. But with the perception that high, one of the servants that you end up seeing that gets a like a plate, like a tray that they are bringing out, just like upended onto themselves. They look frustrated. in a brief moment as they turn to return back to their quarters to grab more food, beverage, what have you, you notice the look on their face. And the reason you notice this look is because it looks like Oliviette, but much older. And you get the feeling, after hearing all about Percival telling you about drow houses and houses in decline and houses in good standing, that Oliviette's former house became absorbed
this one. Yeah.
by House Menstrayan. And as you see Oliviette's mother turn in her servant's garb and go back into what was once her house, that's where we were going to call it for tonight's session.
Caelum returns back to the group like, hey, everybody, I've got I had some brownies that one of the servers was handing out.
And you see Bill and Ted both like shake their heads and like one of their eyes are like super dilated and just, it's bedtime, man.
Caleb's just nodding his head as well, like, this is a bad time. I'm going to go stim in the corner.
So with that, I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful game of Dungeons and Dragons as we get closer and closer to the abyss and the Wand of Orcus and all of that good shit. But speaking of good shit, hey RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and you can catch me at RJustice22 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things of my life and Hive, and sometimes stream with my friends. You can catch me here, of course, on Mondays as Caelum the Shadowkai Wizard Fighter. Wednesdays, I'm DMing over at the Hype Goblins channel, where we're doing Valiant Tales, a Humblewood TTRPG, where they're exploring my little world and looking at bug people who have cordyceps attached to them. It's fine. They've adopted him as dad. Sarah, I hope you're not listening. Other than that, Saturday evenings over at GGK, where we do Parslings, which is a deck building TTRPG where you base your successes on how well you draw. My character is a baby winter soldier person who got lost in the woods and then was raised by wolves. It's fine. Finally, Sunday mornings over at the Hype Goblins once again for our D&D 5e game, where we are in the Underdark as well. Weird how that pans out. DanaeKeener.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches and the Hives and the Instagrams and all those fun things. I got Krieg here. I got Simon here. The next time my channel is going to be live isn't going to be until, boy, probably next week. We might do something on Sunday, but highly doubt it. But we're in our D&D game on Sunday nights. We've got some GGKers over there. And we are about to... we're about to go to a very fun place in between the land or the plane of water and the plane of air, which is going to be a nice little island. And I got a Hawaiian shirt for it, so check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, my players might try to commune with Mistra, which is going to go great for them, I bet. DanaeKeener.com.
Hoi, I'm Cyber. I ain't doing shit for the rest of the year. Don't try to look for me. DanaeKeener.com.
Hey, speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D and a lot of things on this channel. You can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter for the foreseeable future, where you can find a pinned tweet that's got my schedule on it, so you can see all the things that I'm up to. DanaeKeener.com.
And if this is your first time joining us, you can... I got ahead of myself. Hello, everybody. If you made it this far, you probably already know who I am. If you don't, hey, Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pally friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday, and then next year on Saturday as well. It's going to be a great time. But right now, just Mondays, 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. I'm probably going to wrap up the year at some point next weekend I guess that's Christmas, huh? Maybe this week I'll do a build stream, because I haven't built a model kit in a while and I want to stream more before the end of the year. But with that being said, if you liked what you saw, you can go towards anywhere audiocasts are being made available for free. You can find us under the name Indoor Adventures, or you can join us on Patreon for our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. So if you have any questions for myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us on Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side. But that's it. That's our show. We did it. We did it, gang. And with
Happy
that, I would like to
holidays,
say
guys.
happy holidays. Yeah, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these wonderful players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And happy holidays. I don't know if we're doing anything on until the new year, so if we don't see you, season's greetings. Bye! I don't know.